Hi there, Mavericks. This is Ms. Gossett, and I'm here just to talk to you real quick about signing up for your junior year courses. So, registration timeline, January 7th is today. You're receiving your course card that you'll use to actually finalize your classes for next year. On January 21st and 22nd, you'll meet with your individual counselor to finalize your courses, ask any questions, make sure that you are signed up for the things that you need and for classes that you're allowed to take. And then your final deadline to make any changes to these requests is going to be February 12th. You need to use the online resources to help you complete your schedule. So if you go to the EHS website and then click Counselor tab and then course registration tile at the bottom, there's a lot of different resources there for you. They include the academic guide and course catalog, which is going to give you descriptions of all the classes that are offered in Frisco ISD, as well as the prerequisites that they may have, the grade level restrictions, whether or not they have a class fee, all things like that. There's also a link to CTE videos and a new course guide for CTE so that you can see what pathways are offered to help you get started in maybe a possible career exploration or even earning certificates and to be able to do different jobs once you graduate high school. You'll also be able to use the What Counts for What, which tells you what classes count for the required electives you have to take, fine art, world language, PE, speech, health, and technology. And then lastly, the course application links are listed there. So there are classes that require you to apply, and if you don't complete the application by the deadline, you will not be allowed to take that class. So that's an important one if you pick a class that requires an application. Course requests. So how do you make changes from these cards? These are printed with the classes that you updated through in November. So what is listed, hopefully, is what you still want to take. But if not, you can make a change by just drawing a single line through the class that you do not want to take anymore and adding the class that you do want to take next to that. So that's going to look like this. In this example, the student does no longer want to take English 3. They would rather take AP English Language. So you simply cross out English 3 and add the course that you do want to take. Go ahead and note that you may have teacher recommendations for your math and science courses, and if that recommendation doesn't match what you plan to do, I would highly recommend that you go and talk to the teacher. And then there's going to be a space for you to be able to write alternate courses for your classes that you select. Remember, alternates need to be classes you're willing to take just as much as the ones that you signed up for, because there is a chance that we will have to use those alternates in your schedule if there's a schedule conflict or if a class is full. All right, so those course recommendations. So again, math and science teachers will have made recommendations for you. If they differ from what you want to take for math, then you're going to go ahead and fill out that waiver, which is found on that course registration tile we talked about earlier. The biggest thing is that your teachers made these recommendations based on what they've seen in your skills and will during class this first semester and what strengths and abilities you had. If you don't agree or you want to know more about that recommendation, please go have a conversation with that teacher so that they can give you some more insight into what they're seeing and what you can do to be ready for the classes that you're going to take so that you can be successful next year as a junior. Another reminder, not all classes that are offered in the course catalog are going to be offered at every school or open to all grade levels. So you have to use the courses listed on the back of your course card to see what is available to 11th grade students at Emerson High School. If it's not listed on the back, then that is not going to be a class that you're going to be able to sign up for, even if it was listed in the Frisco ISD course catalog. And you're really going to want to make sure that you use that course catalog to check for prerequisites for classes that you're signing up for. A couple of new things to take note of. We did add a turf management course that's going to be offered at the CTE Center, and this would pair up well with the landscape design that we already have. Students can sign up for Sports Medicine 2 with Coach Curtis approval if they were in Sports Medicine 1 and they're part of the athletic training program. We are also offering a different multivariable calculus to just 11th and 12th grade students next year. So for any of our students that in 10th grade have completed AP Calculus BC, you may have the option to do multivariable calculus next year, depending on how many students we have sign up for the course. And then The Frisco Flex, just as a reminder, is the virtual learning option that students can take one-off classes, so 1 to up to 3 classes virtually, and the rest you're on campus. That would require parent approval. You cannot be on campus during any virtual course, so you do have to have transportation and a place at side of the school to be able to work on that course. If you want to have more than 3 courses, so 4 or more virtual courses, you'll actually be a hybrid or full-time student through the Frisco Flex program. That does require an application, and you actually become a student of that virtual high school. All right, so prerequisites. So as a reminder, a prerequisite is a class you have to take first before you're allowed to take the class you want to take. So a student that wants to take Spanish 2 has to make sure that they've already taken Spanish 1. A student that wants to take health science will have to have taken MedTerm. Again, you can see these in the course catalog listed under each course that you may be looking at taking. One semester versus full year classes, these one semesters are going to have that asterisk. So if you pick one class that has an asterisk, you have to pick a second class that has an asterisk so that you have an even number of asterisk classes. If they don't have an asterisk, then that means that's a full year course. CTE Center classes are going to be notable by looking at that they're in bold font. We do provide transportation to the CTE classes, but just know that their bell schedule is earlier. So they start at 8:45. They don't get out till 4:40. And so you are riding the bus. You'll have to leave Emerson early, and you may not get back till late. Many of the classes have prerequisites, so it's just important that if you're signing up for a CTE Center class, that you've looked at that course catalog to make sure that you're eligible to take the class. Double blocked electives. Those are going to be indicated by being shaded on the back of your course card. So that will tell you which classes are going to count for 2 credits, and that will also take up 2 class periods. If it's not shaded, then it is not going to take up 2 class periods. The exception is going to be athletics. Athletics is double blocked, does take up 2 class periods, but you only get 1 credit for that athletics each year. So the work-based learning application through the CTE Center. So if you've already been a CTE pathway, you might be at the point where you have to apply for the 3rd level class that you want to take. So the examples for these are child guidance would be if you've already taken child development. Culinary arts 1 would be if you took intro to culinary art. Education and training would be if you took survey of education. Practicum in marketing, I believe you have to have a few business classes. Practicum in sports broadcast, you need to have done the TV AV production here. And then incubator does require a work-based learning application, but you don't have to have taken a prior class to be able to do that. These are due they open December 12th, so they are due by January 16th, which is just right around the corner. So make sure you're getting those applications in if you want to be able to take one of these courses. College courses that are required, the work-based learning application are our health science courses. So those are health science clinical, medical scribe, pharmacy tech, and rehab aid. Again, same timeline, December 12th through January 16th. This is listed in the same link as the work-based learning, but it is actually goes through Collin College professors making those decisions of which students will be placed in which courses. All right, dual credit. So as a reminder, dual credit is where you're taking a college course and it gets to count for both college and high school credit. So you get two credits, 2 places, even though you only took 1 course. We do dual credit through Collin College. You will be building a Collin College transcript as well as having those classes added to your high school transcript. They're taught by Collin College professors, although sometimes those professors do come to EHS to teach the class. There are several options for 11th grade students to take. The most common are going to be U.S. history and your English 3. And you need to make sure that if you take one dual credit class, you can only take that 1st or 4th. If you want to take 2, then you can take that 1st, 3rd, or 4th. Hopefully you attended the dual credit meeting in December so that you know all the ins and outs of signing up for dual credit. A new dual credit program is called the Collin Edge program. This is replacing our old UNT Now program. It is a project-based learning program that's 4 semesters long. You will be in a cohort and you will attend Collin College on their campus in Frisco, either for the first and second period each day or third and fourth period each day with Fridays off. There is going to be an application that's required or an entry form that's due by February 12th. And there are specific classes that you will take. Go ahead and look at the district website to learn more information about that. Come talk to us at Power Hour if you need help with that. So again, dual credit can help save money because they're taught at community colleges, and which Collin College has the lowest tuition. It does impact your college GPA. It's on a 5.5 weighted GPA scale, and it's taught by Collin professors. AP doesn't cost you money unless you're paying for the fee, and taking the exam is the way that you get the college credit. Those are high school courses taught by high school staff. They don't factor into your college GPA. It's up to the receiving college whether or not they're going to award that credit. They are on the 6.0 GPA scale. So is it right for you? If you have an AB average, if you have transportation, if you're going to take the Collin classes at Collin, do you have money to pay the tuition and books? Because you do have to pay Collin the tuition for the class. Do you come to school regularly? And are your test score, your PSAT scores around the range of 480 or higher or 530 or higher to indicate that you're going to be ready to do college level work? If you answered yes to these, then that might be a good option for you. But if you're not quite here, you might want to wait to do dual credit until senior year. So again, the task times are going to be first period, so 9 to 10:30. You can take either 1 class or 2 classes. If you take 1, it has to match up late arrival. If you choose to do the 1 o'clock classes here, which is third period, those are going to be, you have to sign up for both the English and the history. If you want to take other classes, those are going to be at the Collin campus that require that transportation. And then fourth period classes are only taught at Collin. We don't have any on our campus, and so you do have to have your own transportation to Collin to take those. All right, classes that don't necessarily need an application but that do need approval are listed. Make sure you go to the appropriate teacher to get that signed off on this course card before you're going to turn them into us so that we know the teacher has approved you to continue on. If you're looking for the classes that require an application besides the CTE ones, again, you're going to use that applications list on the registration tile or linked right. And you have to make sure you meet those deadlines to be eligible to take the classes. Make sure you look at it now so that you can not miss out on taking a class you want to take. Late arrival, early release, and aid position. So you guys are at the age where you're going to be able to have some more privileges. So late arrival, early release is only for 11th and 12th graders. You have to be in good standing on your credits. You have to have your own transportation. There's no bus transportation in the middle of the day to get here or to leave early. If you want double early release, or late arrival, you're going to write it twice on your card. If you only want single block or every other day, then you'll just write it once and it will only take up 1 spot. The minimum that you have to have is 3 classes per day. If you want to be an office aide, library aide, counselor aide, there is an application that's required. So you'll have to fill that out by the deadline, and it does take the place of one of your electives, but it does not count towards graduation. So you have to make sure that you're willing to do the work because we do have you do a lot of office tasks. So make sure you've got English 3, U.S. History, the next math in your course section selection, and the next science that's in the typical pathway. Double check with your math and science teachers if you're not sure which should be the next course to take, and then we'll double check that when you meet with us. Make sure you've finished your 2 world languages, your year of PE, your health and speech credit, your year of technology, and year of fine art. If you haven't got these done, we would highly suggest you do them junior year so you're not having a bunch of required classes that you have to take senior year. Make sure you're on track. Extracurriculars. So if you're signing up for athletics, remember you have to double block. There are very, very rare and few exceptions that you would be allowed to single block, and that's only with your coach's approval of that extenuating circumstance. If you're a multi-sport athlete, you're going to sign up for the sport that comes first in the school year, and then we'll fix those later once the other seasons start. If you're going to if you haven't made the team before, just know that tryouts are always those first 2 weeks of school. And if you are cut, we do have to make those schedule changes. And athletic trainer is double blocked, and you do have to talk to Coach Curtis to get an application. Band is mostly double block, but if you're going to single block, you will just only write band master. If you're going to double block, you're going to write band master and instrumental ensemble so that we know it's taking up 2 spots. Choir and orchestra, you'll write choir master or orchestra master. We want, those are just the placeholders. Once you have your tryouts in the spring, we will update those based on your director's placement. If you have higher than 5.0 at the end of this school year and you want to opt out of the GPA counting for a athletic or a fine art credit, that will be something that you will do in the fall, but just something to be thinking about. Don't get out of your athletics or your program, fine arts program, because you feel like it's going to impact your GPA. That's why we have this opt-out program, so that you have an option to continue on all 4 years of high school. Make sure you do the alternates. We have to have those backup classes. If you don't list any alternates and we need to use one, we're just going to pick a class for you. Make sure that those alternates don't require tryout or application or teacher approval. They should be something that we can just slide in, that you're going to be just as happy taking as if you got your first choice. Again, we'll allow program changes the first week of school, first 2 weeks of school for only these programs. Anything else, the deadline is February 12th. Go ahead and sign your card. Go ahead and do this now so that we know that you understand all the schedule change deadlines and the AP Advanced deadline and 6-week commitment. You're going to meet with us again January 21st and 22nd. Make sure you get your teachers or your parents to sign your card so that they know what you're taking, and take a picture at home before you bring it, because you're going to be turning it into us and you won't get it back. Make sure you have a good balance when you're doing your course selection, so that you can't always do everything all at the same time. We're capable of doing a lot of things. We just aren't always capable of doing them all at the same time. So you're going to have to prioritize the things that are most important to you. All right, any questions? Come by and see us at Quad. Is the best and easiest way to get those questions answered. We're not going to be able to do one-on-one meetings before the one-on-one meetings, so you'll have to see us in the Quad or email us your questions. All right, good luck, Mavericks. We can't wait for you to be juniors.